You want to know what I've been thinking about this week?
I do.
A quote by Chris Williamson. Quote of the day. Discomfort is the entry fee to a better life. Quite often we do things that naturally feel comfortable. There's a low barrier to entry. But actually that is keeping you stagnant in your life. So you've got to get a bit uncomfortable and do things that would be out of the norm, break the norms, to be able to get yourself into a better position, even if that requires short-term sacrifice. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I suppose we've always heard as we were growing up, or even in adolescence and adulthood, that you can't grow in your comfort zone. I suppose it's a reframing and a more articulate way to describe that. As we get older, we get extremely comfortable. We get complacent in the choices we make, the people we hang around with, and the life that we create. So it makes me think that if there's discomfort in your life, maybe it might be worth leaning into it. That's what I think of, is leaning into discomfort, whatever that might be, whether that's in a relationship, friendship, or relational, romantic. Yeah, like there's definitely different ways you can interpret that. So what was the full quote again?
Discomfort is the entry fee to a better life.
Discomfort is the entry fee to a better life. I like it. Yeah, so it implies that to change your life, you need to lean into the discomfort.
Yeah.
That on the other side of discomfort, the pain that it's going to cause is going to be pleasure. So it's short-term pain for long-term benefits. So it's pushing away the instant gratification for the pressure that's going to come from the hard work now to get the reward later on.
Yeah.
What do you think?
The discomfort is what it costs you. It's like you can't just have a better life without, like, and it just be plain sailing. It's, you have to face the adversity. You have to make difficult decisions. You have to be probably quite worried about your financial situation. You have to be worried about what others are going to think of you, changing your friendship group. You have to think about all these different things that are going to be very unsettling to the status quo of your life. And you're only willing to pay that price if you want a better life.
So it implies you've got to play the game to succeed.
That's exactly it.
And there's a lot of people that choose to opt out of the game or play the game on easy level.
Well, yeah, they're just quite happy and comfortable with the game they're playing.
Yeah. Do you think everyone needs to lean into discomfort to change their life, or do you think it's only relevant for certain people? Because some people might have a life where they've already lent into discomfort, they've accomplished heaps in their life, and they're sustainable, they're comfortable where they are.
Yeah, I mean, it would all depend on if they're searching for the next level. If you're searching for the next level, I think there's always going to be discomfort, because that means you're going to have to do something you currently don't know what or how to do. And doing things that you don't know how to do is always uncomfortable because you're operating in the unknown. And that is probably one of the hardest things, especially when people say they've been an accountant all their lives and they decide, right, I want to own 100% of this rather than just be an employee or get a profit share. I'm going to set up my own accountancy practice. The job isn't just being an accountant anymore. It's how do you make sales? How do you run back-end systems? How do you make sure that you're compliant with all the legislation around it? Are you properly insured to do that? Can you find your paperwork to prove that you're qualified as an accountant to actually practice? All of these are extra considerations and are things you wouldn't have had to do necessarily for being employed or just having the. So you can earn a lot of money just being a standard accountant. If you want a better life, you're going to have to go through that discomfort.
Mm. And when it comes to, say, personal development as well, if there's an element of your life that's lacking, if you want to change that, you're going to have to lean into the discomfort. So I suppose that's why a lot of people go to therapy, is to help have someone not hold their hand, but guide them through the discomfort, help them navigate it, help them understand it, help them resolve those unresolved issues that are pulling the strings behind the scenes to ultimately make them a stronger person on the other side. Discomfort is the entry fee
to a better life.
Yeah, I wonder how many people actually avoid discomfort, because it is inherently uncomfortable, and some people would rather stay complacent than they would change, and growth doesn't happen without discomfort or change. You can't become a better, more rounded person. You can't better your life without change. You can't just expect life to happen to you. You're just going to be gifted £1 million because you've won the lottery all of a sudden. You've got to work day after day, knowing that you're working for something better, but also understanding the cost it's taking in the short term.
Absolutely. It's a very difficult thing to face, and to actually make the decision to stick with it as well, I think.
Consistency.
Absolutely. It always comes back to consistency, doesn't it? Anyone can do anything once. It's, can you do it on the days where you're not feeling it? Can you do it on the days where you're unwell? Can you do it on the days where you'd rather be going out with your friends? Can you do it on the days when it's your kids' nativity play? You know, it's all of the real life things that can easily get in the way. Can you do it when your girlfriend's just had, like, you've had a big argument with your girlfriend? Can you still perform? Can you still be motivated or even just disciplined enough to continue pushing through that discomfort? Because you're getting no positive reinforcement. You're not earning anything when you first start. You're not having customers that are telling you you're doing a great job. You might even not be actually doing much. You need to learn how to be productive when you don't have a boss over your back or telling you exactly what you need to do.
So what keeps people going at that time then? What honestly do you think keeps people motivated during times of discomfort or times of change? Because, like you said, you've got to turn up every single day. You've got to accept the choice you're making, which is leaning into discomfort, prioritizing it over other things you'd rather do. What keeps people turning up every day?
I think if you've made the life-altering decision it's just an easy example, to leave your job and to become self-employed and do maybe the same industry, but you're just going to do it for yourself. Once you've made that decision, it's very difficult to go back. So you're in the discomfort, and the only way out of the discomfort is through.
The way out is through. Absolutely. That's one of my favorite quotes, is the way out is through.
You have to... I mean, psychologically, like for me now, obviously I would go and get a job if things went really, really bad. Like I just need to, and that would be how I operated, paid the bills while I was still trying to work on top of that on my own stuff. The psychological warfare that happens when you've left your job and you're going into the unknown is, I've made this decision. I'm in too deep. There's a bit of sunk cost there. There's like it's already cost me my yearly salary for the privilege of having this opportunity. It's like, you know, that could be the same as it costs for 3 years of college or university. So that's an element.
I suppose at that point, once you've looked behind the curtain, you've opened the door and you've seen what's there, it's a conscious choice to go back. You know, it would be a conscious choice to abandon that self-development, that discomfort, whether it is leaving a job and going self-employed, or whether it's choosing to handle your trauma that's been pulling the strings behind the scenes for years. It's a conscious choice to step back away from that and embrace the normality or the self-acceptance of where you are at, and you're likely not going to overcome that again.
Yeah.
Whereas if you can open the door, look at it, face the issue head on, lean into the discomfort, again, like we've said, the way out is through, you'll likely be in a better scenario than where you were when you started.
Yeah.
So it's discipline, I suppose, that's got to keep people motivated. It's understanding the cost as well for sacrificing. You know, what are you going to lose if you do give up at this point? There's a big cost if you do give up early, both, again, self-employed, self-development, interpersonal relationships. There's going to be lots that people are going to abandon. It's an interesting quote you've been thinking about. Why has that one come to mind for you? What's giving you the inspiration for it?
The last 2 months I've been coasting, and I still want a better life. So it's a wake-up call to be like, actually, I've got comfortable again. It's time to do some uncomfortable things. And that can be down to simple things like thumbnails. Simple things. It's easy to make a thumbnail. It's not easy to make a high-performing thumbnail. So it's, how can I package videos now to make them perform better, to actually give the videos that we spend so long editing a fair chance at performing well? Because if people aren't clicking them...
You do all the hard work.
Nobody gets to see it. So it's all a packaging thing. And the great thing about thumbnails and titles is you can do them retrospectively. So we can go back in the podcast that we think should have got a better response. We can go and change their packaging and see how that impacts it. So that's something I'm going to be putting emphasis on, and that's uncomfortable because I'm going to have to learn new things. I'll be doing things that currently I don't know, that after this podcast and after the next podcast, I will know. And it'll be a constant, continuous development of being uncomfortable until we start seeing some high-performing results. And then I'll probably naturally relax back into the being comfortable and put a focus on, okay, now I need to increase my video editing because we're getting high click-through rates, but nobody's staying. So why aren't they staying? Now I need to fix that. And then it will probably be a yin and yang, or not a yin and yang, but a back and forth between
It's a balancing act, isn't it? It swings and roundabouts. You know, you've got to lean in to the discomfort on one side, improve where you can there. And once you've got that to a higher level and you understand the discipline it takes to maintain, you then got to readdress where else can the work be done. It's not this overwhelming sensation of you're never going to be perfect, but this grounding reality that hard work takes consistency.
Yeah.
You know, it shouldn't feel overwhelming that, oh my God, I've got so much work to do. I'm never going to be perfect. So what's the point in trying? It's no, I can be better than I was yesterday.
Yeah. And just do the things you can do. It's like everyone can, like for YouTubers, everyone can flick on a camera. Everyone can spend 5 minutes before they're flicking on a camera thinking about, okay, what's the rough plan for this? What direction am I going? Am I going to be a random YouTuber? Am I just going to have any and every topic available to me? Or am I going to niche down and do one particular thing? And whatever decision you make, there might be a right, there might be a wrong. I'm not going to tell you. The important thing is that I think you pick a direction and you stick with it. So if you're going to be random, be random. If you're going to be niche, be niche. Until you get to the point where you've sort of maxed out your market, and then you can start to generalize. The Alex Hormozi example, which I think is brilliant, is start off super niche and then expand out. So at first you're going to be how to fix your plumbing for your kitchen tap if you live in the south side of Brighton. Very specific. You only make videos about plumbing and you target it specifically towards a certain group of people. After you've done that and you've made every video you can there, you then go more general. Okay, how to fix your plumbing system if you live in Brighton. Then you move out how to do it if you live in the south end of England. I skipped a few, but then it's England. Then it's how to fix plumbing problems anywhere in the world. And then eventually what you've done there is you've built up your credibility on, I've addressed this market, I've addressed the slightly bigger market, and you've worked your way out to where you can bring in new viewers while still being local enough to call out specific people's problems.
So it's doing the work day after day. Not restricting yourself and not putting your own limitations, just understanding where you're at, meeting yourself where you're at and working to achieve.
Yeah, that's it. And you can always do better, but so what? That's good. It means you've got something to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
It is exciting.
And discomfort then becomes the signal of this is a good thing. You can change it in your head. Like uncomfortable now means going in the right direction, rather than uncomfortable is really scary and you don't know what to do.
Uncomfortable is leveling up.